Good morning. Good morning. Hey y'all, how are you doing today? Good morning. I'm so excited because today we are going to talk about things that I'm tired of seeing in our industry and things that I think it's time to let go and kind of say goodbye to. You know, we're at this point in the year that I always, I feel like the halfway point of the year is such a great time to stop and reflect on, similar to the new year, what we want to let go of, what we want to bring with us into the last half of the year, what we're ready to be done with. And really, this training today is all about just honestly giving you a ton of permission to build the career that you want. We put so much pressure on ourselves. The industry as a whole and the way it's presented on social media, I think, can put a lot of pressure on us. So I want you guys to be able to understand that you get to do it your way, okay? And yeah, your way might end up taking longer, or it might not be as flashy as what other people have, but that's okay. We don't all need to want the same shit, okay? So that's really the premise for this episode. Would love for you guys to comment and tell me where you're watching from. I am down here in Tampa, Florida, and we, every day this week, we've been getting heat advisories, don't go outside. That is crazy. That's never happened before. So I hope that it's a little more timid where you are with the heat right now. Okay, so let's go ahead and jump in. So I have 3 things here, and then maybe more are going to pop up as we begin this conversation. But I think that as we look at these categories, number 1, as always, I want us to have a lot of compassion with ourselves, right? So maybe we have felt these feelings before. Maybe we have put this pressure on ourselves before. Maybe we're not quite yet. We believe this stuff, but we're not ready yet to take the leap and implement it, okay? So it's really important that as we have this conversation, we just have compassion and love for where we've been and where we're going, okay? So the first thing that I'm totally tired of seeing in our industry is that specialties are the only way, okay? You have to specialize. You have to only do extensions or only do hair cutting or only do balayage and all of that. I understand the value from a marketing perspective. Okay, I understand the value from a marketing perspective and everything. However, I want you guys to understand that a specialty can be as simple as customized looks for each and every client who comes and sits in your chair, right? We need to expand our idea, because what happens is specialties are fun until they're not. Until then, you hate the specialty that you're in, okay? We don't need to put ourselves into a box to be successful. There are so many ways that we can still build effectively, still have a clear message that attracts people to us without feeling this pressure to tuck ourselves into this category and let that be the only thing that we're known for and we focus on. Because I personally feel like that gets boring really fast, okay? If you like having a specialty, if that makes your life easier, more power to you. But what I want you guys to understand is that is not the only way to be successful. There are so many other ways, okay? The second thing I'm tired of seeing in this industry is that you need to be Insta-famous in order to be successful. Wrong. So wrong. Some of the best students that I've worked with doubled their sales, by the way, in 30 days, brought in 5 new clients a week, kept all of them, made tons of amazing money, had 300 or less followers on Instagram. Having an Instagram strategy or a social media strategy has nothing to do with being Insta famous or having this massive following. You can be successful with 300 and less followers, okay? We don't need to put this pressure on ourselves, because what happens again is when we feel like that's the case, when we see other hairstylists doing these things and getting, public recognition and all this stuff, we start to, first of all, judge ourselves, feel like shit, like we're not doing enough. And then also we start to tell ourselves we need to perform in this way in order to actually make money and grow and be successful in this industry. And you guys, it's just not true. If that is a calling in your heart where you're like, I want to be famous, I want to be I want to be an influencer, I want to work with brands, I want to do all of this, totally different conversation. And I think that that's a valid desire. You can do that all day long. But if that is not something you want to do, you don't have to do it, and you can still reach six figures or reach whichever height you're trying to get to in your career, okay? So as we're talking about that is something else that I want to say, where I feel like there is this pressure on hairstylists, and some of it comes from marketing companies who are selling education, all of that, but that hairstylists and what it means to be successful is to hit six figures, to hit 250,000, to reach these massive goals, right? To work on celebrities, to do New York Fashion Week. Like, these are the pinnacles of what it means to be a successful hairstylist. And I want to tell you guys right now, I want to give you permission. It's okay if you don't want to be like mega rich. It's okay if you don't want to make a shit ton of money, and if you just want it to be enough to be happy and have a personal life and contribute to your family, and that's good enough for you. That is okay. I feel like educators are so guilty of doing this, where it's like, you need to become the best hairstylist that has ever walked on the earth. Like, no, just be like you. Like, what matters to you? What are your goals? What's important to you? I've worked with some hairstylists who their goal is to work one Saturday a month, have 5 days off every quarter, and always be busy when they're actually in the salon. But that's how they measure success. And I think this is what we need to be talking about versus become a 6-figure hairstylist. Maybe you don't want that, and you guys, that's okay. We don't need to be feeling guilty for not conforming, again, to having a specialty or charging a certain way, or not wanting to do, let's say, extensions, or not wanting to do balayage, right? All of these things, you can still be super successful, whether that's wanting to be, at the top 1% in our industry financially, or in the middle, some people are very driven by career success. Especially think about Gen X, right? Gen X and boomers, career success is everything. That is everything to them, in my opinion. And so it's it's okay if that's not everything to you. So it's how can we get you closer to your version of success? And also, how can you take that pressure off of your shoulders? There was a time in my life where I thought that I wanted this education business to bring in over $1 million a year. Y'all, I don't want that, if I'm being honest. I don't. I want to be able to have a business that allows me to still be connected to the people that I serve, but not I want a lot of freedom, okay? I want a lot of freedom. So it's deciding what is valuable to you is what matters the most, and taking that pressure, that social pressure off of us for needing to be chasing, needing to be pushing, needing to be going, right? That hustle, girl boss, all of that shit. It's it's okay if that is not your bag. Let's just make sure when you are in the salon, you have clients, right? You're not wasting your time when you're in the salon. Let's just do that so that you can feel good about the time that you're spending there, and that can be enough. And I want you guys to know that that is still success, okay? On the flip side of this, let's talk about failure. So one of the things I'm tired of seeing is that if somebody pivots, if they leave a salon, if they leave to go booth rent, if they leave a booth rent to go back to a salon, if they become a salon owner, then they start running a suite, if they become an educator in a school, it is seen as or it feels like a failure, right? I remember in hair school, all of the little like birdies would be like, oh, they're only an educator here because they couldn't cut it in the real world, okay? Because they failed behind the chair. That's why they're here educating. If they were a good hairstylist, blah, 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 right? And if you change your mind, that does not make you a failure. That makes you empowered, okay? I'm gonna say it one more time. If you change your mind about something that you thought you wanted, it does not make you a failure. It actually makes you empowered, okay? A lot of people don't have the courage to start new in a new area, or to start a business instead of working for someone else, or to have employees instead of only worrying about their own business, right? Like, there's so many layers to this, but moving from one to another and changing your mind is not indicating a failure. It's indicating that you're empowered and you're brave enough to do what you actually want. So often people are so scared of what people will think of them changing their mind that they stay in something for 10 years too long. They hate it. They're bitter. Everyone knows they're bitter. And then they change it anyway when they could have had a huge head start on already building the thing that they really want to do. Okay, so the beauty industry has flexibility, and we should be celebrating that instead of like talking shit about it or seeing it as a bad thing, okay? We have flexibility. Let's embrace it. Let's celebrate the people out there who are changing their minds, who are willing to do that, who are willing to make changes and switches. It is okay. It is okay. It doesn't mean that you're a failure. It doesn't mean that the environment you were in was toxic. It just means you are empowered enough to make a different decision today to build the life you want to build. It's okay. It's not a failure. Okay, the other thing that I'm tired of seeing in the beauty industry is that one way of booking clients, of charging, is the right way, okay? Not true. Some people love double booking. They don't want to have any gaps. That makes them feel bored or go out of their mind, okay? That's cool. And someone could hate double booking. They would rather like die than double book. It's so stressful to them. And they're both fine, and you can still be successful with both models, okay? We don't need to be like, ooh, they want to double book. They're so evil. They're trying to, work themselves to death. And then this one's like, oh, they're not double booking. They're so lazy. They'll never make it in this industry. Like, what are we doing? There are so many ways to be successful and reach that 100K mark. Like, let's just accept each other and the freedom that we have in this industry. Okay, so this also goes with charging. Again, we have who's charging hourly, who's doing session charges, who's doing a la carte, and all of that. Again, do what you find the most valuable for you, what is easy for your clients, what helps, whatever makes the most sense to you, do that. And then just let it go what other people are doing. You don't need to be convert everybody to your way. It's like, celebrate that they don't if they're happy. Celebrate that you do if you're happy. That's it. They are both valid and can get you where you want to go. Okay, so I'm going to pause really quickly, drop where you're watching from and a couple comments here. I have to grab my charger, so don't leave. I'm coming right back. Okay, are we still here? Yes! Hey, from North Mississippi. Hi. Yes, I saw someone said F the 9 to 5. And that's the beautiful thing about this industry. You might hate the 9 to 5. Okay, we're charging. You might hate the 9 to 5. Other people out there might be dying to do a day shift so that they can run their kids to school, bring their kids home. You know, that's another thing that happens in our industry. It's like, oh, well, they don't want to work hard if they won't do nights and weekends, right? They'll never be successful if they don't do nights and weekends. Y'all, you can, right? We can. And the whole point of like this entire training or rant or whatever I'm doing right now is just that, like, let's just have compassion and love, because sometimes when we're in that negative space of judging what others are doing and how they're growing their business, it could be because we don't have the balls to do that when we would like to do that, right? Ugh, but I built my business nights and weekends, so they can't skip to the good part. But yes, you can. Yes, you can. That's the point. Don't we want to have fulfillment and happiness? Don't we want to build a business that we look forward to coming to, right? So I think that we need to get into a space where we can just be honest about what we want. Oh, my cat. Hold on. Thank you guys for letting me be chaotic today. But we need to get to a point where we can first be honest with ourselves about what we want, and honest with ourselves when that changes, if it does change. Maybe it stays the same. Maybe you're going to be happy doing that thing for 20 years and not need to change and just build and be super satisfied doing that. We need to be honest with what we want, honest when it changes, accepting of others and their different path. And accepting means encouraging, supportive, not silently judging them. Okay, that's not being accepting. We need to be supporting, encouraging, celebrating, like publicly recognizing them, like being their cheerleader, even when they do things different from us. And then we need to get good at communicating those things and being willing to act on them, right? So many of us, we have these like secret desires in our heart of what we wish things could be like, and we don't take the little baby steps to make it happen, okay? And those steps could be small or they could be big, but it's just about first like understanding where they're coming from. Our industry seriously like connects the most beautiful people in the world with these like servant hearts that just want to take care of other people, just want to be real, just want to let other people be real. And it's like we have to be more accepting, I think, of where our industry is going. Maybe at one point in time, the industry was all on the same wavelength with the same services and the same pricing and the same dress code and the same everything, but like that's not now. Our industry has branched into like so many different things, and maybe that's intimidating to some people, that the industry has become so different with so many different methods of growing. But you guys, like, I think it's freaking beautiful and powerful, and like the next generations are going to make it even bigger and better than like where it is now. And I find that so exciting, because not only is it the best time ever in the history of life to be able to build a business behind the chair, get clients easily, like find those soulmate clients, all of that, but it's also the best time ever in the industry to build your own path and to build it with people who are like-minded with you or freaking opposite as hell from you, and be able to live together in like harmony, just building these dreams that we want. And like maybe that sounds really idealistic, but if you can just step back and try to look at it with like a bird's eye view, I totally believe it's possible. And a lot of it starts, of course, with getting clients. Like you have to have clients to work on in order to make any money, in order to have the schedule you want, all of that. But like that's details. Like you can get clients like this. I show people how to do it all the time. So it's just having the guts to first understand what you want and then be willing to take that jump. I also feel like our industry is in like a tug of war sometimes of the algorithm in some ways, because the algorithm shows us more of what we want to see, and so we all are in our own bubbles of like what's happening in the industry and what's relevant, and then marketing companies and publications are showing us what they want to sell or what they think is, they want you to be doing so you can buy their next thing. But there is so much freedom here still. And if we can be the weirdos and the misfits and the eccentric lovers and artists and everything that we got into this industry to be, it's only going to get it better. I don't know who along the way tried to make us into freaking robots who can just repeat everything perfect, say the perfect script every time, and just go through the motions. It's bullshit. This industry is meant to be, catered to each client and catered to each stylist, and it's meant to be more. It's meant to be more. And so that's why I'm tired of seeing those different things in the beauty industry. I think we have so many great things that are possible, that are available to us. And I just want you guys to, ultimately, the whole point of this is for you to have the permission to be yourself, to grow how you want to grow, to allow for differences between each other, allow for differences, allow for, welcome opposites and, things that feel uncomfortable around you. It's not a threat to you. Let's just embrace and build the businesses that we want. So I say all of that. That Cosmo Dude says the large franchises love robots. They do. They do. And the thing that they say is, you will be more successful if you fill in the blank. And you know what? Maybe they're not wrong. Maybe that is the fastest, most efficient way to make the most money in the shortest amount of time. However, not everybody wants that. Not everybody cares about that. You know what I mean? If I'm in a race to make $3,000 a month, sure, but if I'm on a race to build a fulfilling fucking career that I love, sorry for my language, I'm just fired up about this. If I am on a path to build a life for myself beyond a paycheck, beyond everything that can grow with me, and I can build and create this fulfilling thing, it can't be that. And that's me. Maybe for you, that's great. It's hey, there are beautiful people out there that are just tell me what to do. I'll clock in, just tell me what to do. I'll clock out and I'm good, right? And more power to you guys. Sometimes I wish I was more like that. But a lot of us aren't like that. We want to build something that feels more meaningful, that we have a part in playing, that we have a part in creating, something special that makes people feel special and different and really just makes people feel something. So this is permission, and this is a compassionate big sister, auntie hug for all of you that do want to do something different and are holding yourself back, or maybe trying to fit yourself into boxes that some educator or some salon owner or whatever told you is going to benefit you. Check in with your intuition, check in with your soul, check in with your future vision. I truly believe if we can sit down and write a letter to ourselves from our 60-year-old self, there's something there that we can tap into from the future. That sounds great. I'm being so wild this morning. But anyway, what I want is for us to be able to feel good about building the careers that satisfy us, whether we charge hourly, whether we double book, whether we specialize, right? Whether we want to be the $250,000 a year stylist, or we're cool being the $75K a year stylist, because then we feel like we have more freedom or flexibility or control. You can make this career what you want. And in a world that is always trying to fit us into something else, or in a world that sells you this dream, but only if you contort yourself into a pretzel, I want you to know that it's still so possible to be successful being exactly who you are. And I could talk about the luxury client method, and I could talk about helping getting you more clients and, you know, showing you a different way. But honestly, I don't even feel like trying to sell you shit, because I just want you to hear the message in your spirit that like you can do that and you can be successful doing that. Period. There's no catch. There's no catch. So if anything, I hope that this was thought-provoking. Maybe you guys have thought about things while we've been talking about this that you want to see differently in the industry. Maybe you've also realized things that you really love about this industry, like all of the opportunity and the chance to be individual, the chance to build a business that your heart desires, which is very rare in this world. It's like very rare. So jump into my DMs or comment below and let me know how you're feeling. What does this kick up in you? And maybe it's not a pretty, perfect feeling. Maybe it made you feel angry. Maybe it made you feel seen. Maybe it made you feel like anything, but come into my DMs. Let's have a conversation about it, because this is the stuff that matters. Time is only going to pass by, so you might as well pass by with you doing what you really want to do and what you love. Yes, you have to eat. You know, we need to make enough money to eat, but I'm telling you guys, that's the easy part. So anyway, I hope you have a beautiful day, and share this with somebody who freaking needs this reminder, and let's just spread it and make this industry what we want it to be. I love you guys.